Welcome to a special installment of The Truth in This Art from Artscape 40. I am your host, Rob Lee, and this episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Verizon and Crust by Mac. Thank you for joining me for my conversations at the intersection of arts, culture, and community. This episode features a two-part interview with two incredible DJs. First, I speak with DJ Thommy Davis, a key figure in Baltimore's dance music scene, moments before he takes the stage. And then I catch up with DJ Quicksilva, a top-ranked DJ known worldwide as the Party Kingpin. So join us as we explore these stories and the impact of these remarkable DJs performing at Artscape 40.
Well, hello. Well, I'm Thommy Davis, Baltimore-born Thommy Davis. So I'm proud. I'm proud to be from Baltimore.
I like hearing that. And this is, I feel it, right? I feel like this is going to be one of those days. I think Artscape is one of those sort of periods where the folks that are from here are able to show out. That
this is my third one.
Okay. So you got some history. So before we go super deep into the Artscape related questions, I want to give you this question. I like to ask people, what is one of your earliest creative experiences, whether it be in appreciating art, whether appreciating music, or even your first time I'm going to try this out? What's one that comes to mind for you?
Wow, I think I've always been like that. From the time I was a youngster. I mean, I always was the guy that says, why does he always want to be different?
Yeah.
And that was just me being creative. So as I got older, the more everything I did was art. From theater, from school, from art, exhibitions, ceramics, poetry. Yeah. And now I got a book out. It's just, once you art, you art. So I just brought it to DJing.
Yeah. So would there be, and it's this question we ask of what is your art if you were to put a fine point on it? I know it's each of these things, right? But it's what, people talk about what's that first love. So what is your art in that context?
The first love?
Yeah.
Dancing.
Oh, okay.
Right. I was a young kid on this club called Odell's, and it was playing this kind of music that you never heard anywhere else. And I was sold. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing.
That's great. That's great. I don't have the rhythm. Got two right feet, two left feet. They don't coordinate.
You don't need that.
Go on. Tell me more.
No, you dance like nobody's watching.
Okay.
So you do whatever the rhythms you feel.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about house and dance music. It's not a certain steps, it's you just dance. And nobody cares what you're doing. I don't care if you look like Jerry Lewis. They don't care. It's like
I will admit I was joking, I'm being a little self-deprecating, but there are those moments where, especially when I listen to house music, I get hit. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I got a little something for this. A little something here and there. So when did you fall in love with house music, and if that's what you're gonna work with then? Well,
actually, I was in love with it all. I mean, I was the first person in Baltimore playing hip hop, and I did hip hop for a while, and I did industrial, which is kind of a early predecessor to EDM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And house just came in. I did, so I'm not really just house.
Yeah, sure.
It's just where it's at now.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've changed. I kept going. So just last year, they gave me the award for hip hop. One of the founding people of hip hop, because I was working in record stores for 20 years, almost 20 years in record stores. So all the sounds you hear in Baltimore, that's what I was in there. I was in there shoving it out to Baltimore.
So what would you say? And this is you caught my attention. I'm now improvising now. I'm free jazzing a little bit. What are the hallmarks of that Baltimore sound? And the reason I ask that, because I hear club music, I hear there's elements of this, there's elements of that, and then I hear other places kind of taking stuff that I know to be ours and claiming it to be theirs. So I want to kind of get your take on sort of, how do you define sort of what that Baltimore sound is? Just from your perspective. It's not the definitive anything, but your perspective.
Well, I've got some psychological, sociological conditioning that say that that's the reason why. In Baltimore, it's such a struggle.
Yeah.
And in history, it's proven that when a population or race or culture is oppressed, the best music come out. The best. So in Baltimore, you get that. You get the trials and tribulations underneath the rhythm. You get the dire need for freedom, and music is freedom. So in that moment, you don't have to worry about anything else but where you're at the moment. And music is that expression, whether it be gospel, house, dance, even hip hop. You know, they all have an escape. It's your personal escape. And in Baltimore, it's a hard life.
It's a hard life, but I think we do our thing where we celebrate too.
Yes.
We spend that time doing that, and those are the moments that are the very rich moments. So as we're having this conversation, this is literally minutes before you get on stage.
Yeah.
So, you know, what is it like being here for Artscape 40?
Well, this year is even better. Actually, I started performing. I started using my theatrics and stuff like that to put it with the music. I had nothing to prove with the skills of being a DJ.
Yeah.
But I noticed that a couple years ago, people started having phones and they just started filming.
Yeah.
So my idea is like, hey, I can give you something to film.
I'm going to give you something to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and it's opening up doors that as a regular DJ you can't get through. So now I'm doing casinos, I'm international, I can go places where if I just had on a pair of headphones, I'd be in the back in the corner somewhere. Now I demand
So like me.
to be in the front. So it's part of me being really, really close to my ancestors to come from Pennsylvania Avenue and some other places. Like, you know what, this Baltimore, I love my city, but it's only a springboard for me to go beat and shape the sound of somebody else, some other people. And they love us. Everywhere we go, they love us. It's like, how do y'all sound like that?
Yeah. When I do these interviews and I go out of town, I try to make sure I'm bringing that Baltimore energy, sensibility with me. And you're probably listening to me. I, grew up in that, first few years of life, lived in West Baltimore, then moved to East Baltimore, and people are always looking for my accent. Like, where's it at, bro? And it's only when I say certain things. You only get the twos. You don't get anything else. It's only that. That's the only time it comes out. And I was like, that's my card. That's my stamp right there. It's a proud Baltimorean.
Oh, yeah. I was working on my doctorate, so I had to try to hide my Ebonics from Baltimore. Yeah. Certain things, certain consonants, certain syllables that we just say a certain way. Sure. So I got pretty good at it. So I could actually do my dissertation and talk properly, and at the same time talk to my friends a different kind of way. And so, it's a great skill. And I encourage our youth to do that. It's like, it's okay to be, yo, what's up, man, and all that kind of stuff, but learn how to not do it so you can function in other environments.
Absolutely. So I want to ask, sort of preparation, right? When you're getting on stage, and as we touched on a little bit, I think it's special. This is the milestone year. Well, all of them special, right? But this is a milestone year, and it's just something about putting on when you're in front of your local people. It's something special about that. What does preparation look like? Because we're ready.
Preparation is, I'm kind of ingrained in Baltimore, so I got the hugest house festival here. I'm the president of it. You know what I mean? I run 3 record labels that have the music to come out. My nephews are the Baltimore clubs. So they all are little kids in high school. So now I'm proud, like a proud grandfather. So the preparation for me is to go out and just represent that I'm a senior. That some people believe life ends. That's quick. That life keeps going, and that unfortunately people think it stops. It doesn't stop. It stops when you say it stops. So people don't realize that my age and how long I've been doing this for 47 years.
Wow.
Right. So I'm going out there. All I have to do is really have fun, and the people have fun with me.
And that's the thing about it. It's having fun, and this is the second conversation I'm having for this series of interviews, and just talking about sort of people coming together from all of these different parts of Baltimore, united under this, hey, we're here to have fun, we're here to celebrate sort of the arts and culture here in the city. And I think, Artscape is that uniting mechanism.
It is. Yep. And to this year is a validation for me. Because when I first started doing the theatrics and doing the show performance, all friends said, nah, why are you doing it? That's crazy. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? And now they're seeing outside people embrace it. You know what I mean? The other people seeing that it's something different, and some people don't want different. They want the same thing.
Yeah.
So this is a validation. So when they said you want to do this, I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And welcome back. to another interview for The Truth in This Art. We're here.
I appreciate you.
We're here at Artscape 40, and I am joined by the incomparable, the legendary. How many more superlatives have to throw in?
You can stop there, man. It's not that serious.
I have DJ Quicksilva here with me.
I'm honored to be here, always.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Anytime, man. I'm always honored to speak, and whether I'm being interviewed or whatever it is, it's always an honor. I take everything to heart, brother.
No, it's super appreciative, and you got on the proper branding. I'm jealous of the shirt. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I tell people I'm still born and raised in Baltimore. I think a lot of people in the rest of the world, because I've been based out of D.C. for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I tell people ain't nothing changed. I'm East Side to the death, Shady Side Road. Better known now as Quicksilva Way, because the mayor renamed my childhood street after me on my birthday last year. So Shady Side Road is now known as Quicksilva Way.
I'm hoping to have a similar trajectory. I'm an East Sider.
You will. You will.
But starting off, always like to give folks the opportunity to introduce themselves. Like I did the superlative, all of that, but giving folks the space and sort of where was the beginning for you creatively?
So as they say, my name is Rico Silva, but the rest of the world knows me as Quicksilva. I've been DJing for a very long time, since 1990. I've been in professional nightclubs since 1994, 95-ish. I started a club called Club Indigo on Green Street. I've been on radio since 98. I started on 92Q back as a just mixer. Then from there, I went to X1057. From there, I went to DC. And I've been based out of DC for the last 20 plus years. I'm on both stations now, so I'm on 93.9 in DC, as well as the Quicksilva morning show every morning, 6 to 10 on 92Q. Not only am I a DJ, I'm also a husband, a dad of two, business owner, multiple business owner. I own 2 DJ schools, I own a nightclub. I'm currently opening up a restaurant. I do motivational speaking at least 2-3 times a week. I'm going into schools and inspiring the kids, and I love that I've been a voice and a vessel of information, not just on the radio, but as I love to say, in real life. I'm the person that when something's going wrong, they know they can count on me to show up, and I think that means more than any award or accolade I've won. And the accolades, I've won everything. I've won East Coast #1 DJ, the Mix Show Power Summit. I have 2 Global Spin Awards, which is equivalent to having Grammys. I've been voted DC's #1 for the last 20 years on the clubs and radio. Ben Shilleybo in Washington, D.C. put me on the Wall of Fame next to Barack Obama for 2 decades of community service. I mean, you can Google stuff. I've done so much. People remind me, like, "Quick, didn't you?" I DJ'd on the Rock the Mic tour with Jay-Z and 50 Cent. I forgot about that. Like, I've done so much. I don't even keep track of all the things I've done anymore.
And when I was saying legendary, you were like, nah.
This is a short story. I've done 1,000,001 things.
But
most importantly, what I always tell people, I never want to be, when it's all said and done, I don't want to be known as a legend or an OG. I want to be known as an inspiration. I'm hoping that I've inspired somebody that it's possible, that you can come from literally nothing. Like I started from nothing. When I say nothing, my parents didn't have money. Barely graduated high school. I didn't go to college. I lost my mom when I was 10. I lost my dad when I was 18. I got my first place at 18. Bought my first home at 21. Like I come from nothing, and I've made something of myself. That I know makes my family proud.
That's very inspirational.
Yeah, thank you.
So, in starting off, what was that sort of moment where you're like, music, DJing, that was something of interest? Like, what was that moment where it was like peak for you?
So my mother was a pianist at the church. So I started off in instruments. So I played drums and piano in church. I still play drums and piano to this day. But I started DJing. My mom passed when I was 10, and that's also the year I started DJing. For Christmas, I got a set of turntables from my dad, and that's all I wanted for Christmas was the turntables. And I've been DJing literally every day since then.
Oh, wow.
So my inspiration, I was watching a movie called Beach Street. I'm not sure if you're old enough to remember Beach Street. Right? But that inspired me, man. I remember watching the character, like, I want to be this guy. Like, he was the guy. All the guys wanted to be like him. All the girls liked him. I want to be that guy. And, the rest is history.
Seeing someone that you can connect with in like pop culture is something big about that. It's like, I see myself there. I see who I could be potentially.
I could be that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So, in briefly here, because I want to talk about like Artscape of businesses. This is where we're recording from. This is one of those rare instances, right, where I'm recording a podcast on location. That's usually I'm in the studio.
It's legendary, man.
That's their word again.
Kudos to yourself.
But how would you describe sort of your current approach and style to DJing?
It's crazy because my hashtag is I don't just DJ, I perform. I'm a dope DJ. I'm a dope on-air personality, a dope host.
Yeah.
But when you put all those things together, I really put on the show. So I tell people hear me on the radio is one thing. That's you in your car on your way to work or wherever.
Yeah.
But when you see me live, it's a different beast. I do a lot of crowd response. I do a lot of things where I get people involved. I command the crowd.
Yeah.
Then I play the right record to go with what I'm commanding. It's took me decades of perfecting my art and my craft. A lot of people see me doing it now, they think it's easy. It's not easy to talk on the mic, mix, scratch, blend, all at the same time and stay on beat and keep the crowd engaged, all while searching for the next record.
Yeah.
I make it look easy. It's really not easy. And I've had so many DJs that come to my DJ school and they pass the class and they're dope, and then they hear me play and they be like, dude, I want to be like, I can't teach this. This is the art. I always say DJing is a bit of art and science. Mm-hmm. So I can teach you the science of DJing. I can teach you how to count bars and count on beat and start on the one, but I can't teach you to be dope.
Yeah.
That's in you. It's the it.
That sounds very much like an educator and as a person that just wrapped up teaching a course.
Yeah, right. I can teach you how to do a lesson plan, but I can't teach you to get the kids involved and to fall in love with what you're doing.
Right.
You just have to be really good at what you do.
It's like the passion, the reps, the consistency, all of that good stuff.
My motto has been the same three things for the last 30 years. Hard work, dedication, and consistency. But you have to do all three all the time. That's the part that people don't realize. A lot of people are hard working when they're being paid. Yeah. Or they're dedicated when they're being celebrated.
I may have read that somewhere, actually.
I'm sure. I've been saying that for 30 years.
And because you actually said it to me when we were out there meeting briefly.
I say it so much now, I don't even realize I'm saying it. It just...
But it's one of those things where I don't think that there are any coincidences. We met, we chit-chatted or what have you. It's like, this first time I'm meeting you. And that stuck with me. Yeah. That thing hit and it stuck with me.
Thank you.
So, being involved in Artscape 40. I'm 39, right?
That's crazy. Artscape's older than you.
Yeah.
I'm only 43, so I'm not that old.
No, I'm approaching 40. I don't know. But so what were you performed, right? So what was it like to be here at Artscape 40? As you touched on, it's not just a DJ. You're performing. It is a spectacle. It's a show. Mm-hmm. So what is that like coming here, doing it at this milestone installment, this big year, and essentially showing out in front of our people?
It's an honor to perform in my hometown. Yeah. You gotta realize I travel all over the world DJing weekly and monthly in a different city or a different country. So when I'm able to come back home and perform in front of people who really know me, it's different than playing at a festival with 20,000 people in Jamaica, and I'm not from there. But when I come here, it's like I know that guy. I went to school with that guy. I went to school with his wife. I know his brothers, and I watched his growth over the years. So when someone from Baltimore tells me they're proud of me, it's better than anybody else because I really know they know where I come from. So to be able to perform in front of this crowd and get the reaction that I got, it's humbling. Yeah. It's really humbling, man. I look forward to and I performed at Artscape tons of times. I performed at AFRAM tons of times. Pretty much every festival in Baltimore. Shout out to Mayor Brandon Scott. That's my great friend. So whenever I'm called from him to show up in anything, he knows the answer is always yes.
That's great. So, and I feel that. I feel that sort of it's a specialness of being able to do it here.
This is different, man. I can play in New York and Miami. I was in Miami last week for the last 4 days, and I just came back home so I can do this because it's that big of a deal for me.
And this is a first for me. This is sort of doing something different, and I'm always in the same setup environment, all of that, and just again the honor and being able to see folks as Larry was touching on earlier when we were chatting, seeing folks that I know that's a real dude.
I went to school with him. Right.
So Talk a bit about some of the impact that Artscape has had, you being involved with multiple installments, but impact has had on sort of the local music scene.
I think it's super dope because what I love about Artscape, it infuses the actual art and the music, which a lot of festivals don't incorporate. But they always make sure they spotlight a lot of the homegrown art. I never use the word local because it makes them sound like they're not as big as the nationals. No, they're homegrown.
That's a good point.
So I love that they always never forget about finding out who has the pulse of the city this year and let's spotlight them.
Yeah.
That's commendable, man, because a lot of people in a lot of cities don't do that.
And sort of and thank you for sharing. That's a really good point. So sort of connected to that question is, how is it bringing in sort of the, I'm going to say external, it might not be the most delicate word, but the external like talent, the headliners and so on, how does that play in sort of serving this idea of Baltimore being a hub for creativity, for music and so on, seeing legends, again,
I think it's dope. I think it's dope because it's not like, one, I love that we all share the same stage.
That's a good point.
Because a lot of times they'll be like, you know what, local artists are going to put you on this little small stage with 3 people, and then when Shaka Khan comes, you perform in front of 30,000.
Yeah.
They don't do that here. We share the same stage. We use the same mics. We have the same sound guy and the same lights and effects. So they treat us all equally. Yeah. That's what I love about Artscape is that no one feels like I'm the opening act. It's just that I have to be performing before this person. Me and Thommy played back to back. Neither one of us were opening for each other. We both just got a chance to perform.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like either one of us felt like, oh, he got one up on me. You rock out, I rock out, we rock out and have fun.
Yeah.
So that's what Artscape means to me.
And this is the last real question. I got one rapid fire question for you. But the last real one is this. 40th installment. What is, I want one of each. What is your favorite moment performing and your favorite moment attending?
Artscape or any festival?
Artscape specifically.
Honestly, my favorite moment performing was actually tonight because me and Thommy Davis were joking about it. When I got off stage, I performed 2 sets. Normally I do 1 set. So I came on, rocked out earlier, brought on Thommy, he rocked out, killed it, and then I was supposed to come back on before Shaka Khan. And on my first record, it started thundering and lightning. Like, I can't make this up.
Yeah.
And they was like, quick, we got to cut it. I said, I'm going to use this for my show. I'm like, I'm sorry, I done brought the thunder and the lightning. They stopping my whole show. So everybody, they laughed at it, and everybody ran the chic shelter. But that's the moment people will remember. Like, when I get on the radio Monday, I can joke about it. I'm like, man, I apologize. I shut it down, literally shut it down. They rock, but I shut it down. So, that's my favorite moment probably was this year performing. Favorite moment attending, I honestly don't have one, man. I've been so many times. Actually, I'm lying. The first time I brought my kids, and they were able to see it. That year, I actually performed as well. But having them here, after I performed, I forgot who was the headliner that year. But I could have stayed on stage, but I'm not that person. I want to touch the people. I want to be out in the crowd. I want to take pictures with my supporters. So we went out there with my wife Ashley, my kids Antonio and Ashton, and I was just out there regular, like partying with everybody, putting my fist up, having fun, man.
Man of people.
So that meant a lot. That meant a lot to me because my kids were with me. So I love when my kids get to see me be me.
That's dope. It's like that extra layer of sort of putting it on.
That's what success is all about, man.
Yeah, and I touched on this like in an interview earlier about sort of it's nothing cooler. It's one thing it's very few things that are cooler than you having the opportunity to bring someone to like Artscape, and we were talking about friends, but when you're able to bring a family member and like here's sort of next generation.
It's a different beast, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it for the real questions. Now, of course, I got rapid fire questions, man.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm not scared now.
All right. So you braved the heat. We moved. Artscape was in September last year. It's literally what I think you said 100 earlier.
100 degrees, literally 100 degrees.
No one spontaneously combusted though. No one blew up.
I didn't see that too. I didn't see it.
How do you, Quicksilva, stay cool during Artscape?
Water. Drink lots of water, man. You got to stay hydrated. That's my easy answer. And I keep a sweat rag with me. I'm at that age now Well, that sweat rag don't leave. If I got to be outside, then where's my rag?
I'm gonna need that.
Need that rag.
And lastly, and I feel it in the back of my, in my stomach, in the lower regions. I'm gonna need something. What do you had that great jerk chicken earlier, right? Mm-hmm. What's that standout food item like you look for at like Artscape? So
this might sound cliche. Jerk chicken is actually my favorite food.
Really?
That's why I was so excited when they had it. And I love authentic jerk chicken, like off the grill. You have people who make baked chicken and put jerk sauce. That's not jerk chicken. Jerk chicken has to be made on the grill with the charcoal, preferably outside. Like that's when it's jerk chicken. So anytime I see jerk chicken, and then my second is, of course, lamb chops. I didn't see any lamb chops today. But, and I would say lastly, I'm from Baltimore, crabs. Either crabs or crab cake, either one. But when I saw the jerk chicken, it actually was good. Shout out to the chef, I forgot the name. But the dead jerk chicken, the rice and peas, the veggies, it was perfect. Caribbean food is my favorite food.
Okay. So you done sold the ticket, so now I need to get over there and get a meal.
It's spicy, so you can get some water.
Look, I like spice, man.
All right, be careful.
So as we wrap up here, I want to again thank you.
Thank you for having me.
For coming on.
You did a great job, by the way, buddy.
I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. And there you have it, folks. I had DJ Quicksilva here.
Hey, love, so man. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all follow me at DJ Quicksilva on everything.
And there you have it, folks. I want to again thank DJ Thommy Davis and DJ Quicksilva, as well as my sponsors, Crust by Mac and Verizon, for making all of this happen. And for DJ Thommy Davis and DJ Quicksilva, I'm Rob Lee, saying that there's art, culture, and community in and around your neck of the woods. You've just got to look for it.